Welcome to Digital Asset News. Take the top stories in cryptocurrency and digital assets and break them down to bite-sized pieces. Today, we've got some pretty fantastic stuff. First up, there is a problem going on at Coinbase, and it's only getting worse. Speaking of problems, Ripple and XRP might be nudged out in the cross-border payments department, and great news for institutional investors as BAKKT and Galaxy Digital come together to perform white glove service for institutional investors. And finally, Bitcoin is being accepted in vending machines for Coke. Unbelievable. Let's jump right in. So just so you know, it's Wednesday, June 10th. It's about 2 o'clock Texas time. I got late to this video, but here we are. So let's jump into the market. Looks like we're doing about the same as we always do. Bitcoin hasn't really moved too much, up 1%, but really knocking on the door of 10,000 as it hits 98.66. So I like those numbers. Ethereum's almost at 250, so doing well. Tether, and XRP, 20 cents. Fantastic. And everything else is pretty much the same. So nothing has really taken off, but we see incremental progress, and that's all we care about, just moving the needle. So let's jump into, I think, today's big story. So first up, serious Coinbase surveillance warning sparks massive 200 million Bitcoin backlash. And this is from Billy Bambra, and he always does great stories. I really appreciate this guy. So this is kind of like a follow-up to a video that we did just a couple of days ago where the title was Delete Coinbase. And I was so concerned with the actions that Coinbase was taking that I have removed all links, affiliate links, and as much as I can actually, that has to do with Coinbase, because what they've done is essentially they've had multiple outages, and then on top of that, they're also working with the the DEA and the IRS, and they are selling blockchain analysis. So really, this is a problem that I had to address personally, and I just can't be a part of that. And really, it all comes down to how you vote with your wallet. Anyhow, so let's jump in the article. Coinbase, largest U.S. Bitcoin and cryptocurrency exchange, has had a hard time lately. Repeated outages, and remember, this is 4 outages in the last 3 months. I mean, this is an $8 billion company. There's no way that this should happen. And Coinbase will soon begin selling blockchain analysis software to the U.S. government. Its users are withdrawing Bitcoin and looking for alternatives. And the question is, well, how much? How much is actually being taken out? So moving down, actually, before we get into that, let me say one thing. And there has been so many problems with Coinbase. I have, for the longest time, since I started this channel in end of November 2019, I've had one playlist, which is just the essentials. It's gotten so bad with Coinbase, and because we are doing so many things, there's so many things going on, I wanted to track all these Coinbase shutdowns and problems, so I made its own playlist. So I have 2 playlists, and one is just the Coinbase and all their screw-ups. So yeah, if you ever want to check out what's going on with Coinbase, here you go. And if anybody says, Coinbase isn't that bad, go ahead and watch these 4 videos and the judgment is up to you. I just put the information out there. Moving on, it states, if you use Coinbase, you should delete your account. Bitcoin and crypto entrepreneur Matt Odell said after the block reported the U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency, or Administration, DEA, and the IRS intend to buy licenses from Coinbase for an analytics platform called Coinbase Analytics. So first of all, who's Matt Odell? So Matt Odell's a Bitcoin entrepreneur, co-founder, executive editor of CoinPrices.io, innovative site that delivers up-to-date digital currency news and analysis. And he writes a lot of different things. So he is in the know. He knows what's going on. So when he talks about, hey, delete Coinbase, I couldn't agree more, especially with what's going on. So of course, Coinbase is going to put out a statement, and they stated this specifically, and they're talking about their analytics tool, which they sold to, or are going to sell to the government, and it states, this does not include any personally identifiable information for anyone, regardless of whether or not they use Coinbase. They further state, Coinbase offers this product to financial institutions and law enforcement agencies to support compliance and investigation use cases. And I was reading this, I'm like, well, that's odd, because I switched to Gemini. First of all, it's awesome, and the fees are lower, and also Kraken And guess what? They're not doing this. So I don't know where this is coming from. But I mean, I could be wrong. Let me know in the comment section if you think that, they're not going to sell our data. Everything's on the up and up and everything's going to be fine. Maybe I'm just totally paranoid. Who knows? Let me know in the comment section. But moving on, these security concerns and recent outages have caused Coinbase customers to withdraw a near record amount of Bitcoin from the exchange. According to data from blockchain analytics firm Glassnode, Coinbase users withdrew, get this, 22,000 more Bitcoin, worth about $214 million, than they deposited on June 7th, which was 2 days after Coinbase Analytics story broke and a week after the exchange's latest outage. So here's my final thoughts. Good. I'm glad it happened like this because, like I said in the beginning, we need to vote with our pocketbook. And there's no better way than let Coinbase know that they can't keep pulling this type of nonsense and just, let us just take it. I mean, look, I have been working since I was 15 years old, and I have been paying the IRS since that time. So I have nothing to hide. Believe me, you do not want to get into a tussle with the IRS because guess what? They're going to win. So I have nothing to hide, but if you're going to, you subject us to the KYC, AML, 1099s, and everything else, so where does it end? I mean, where does it stop? I mean, how much information do they possibly need to know about us, moving forward? And to me, I just couldn't take it. So that's why I did that video a couple days ago where I talked about I removed all my Coinbase affiliate links. And that's just what it is. And before we get to the next story, I want to talk about this Google spreadsheet that I have. So in the description of every one of my videos, there's going to be a link to exchange fees. And it's going to look at all the different exchanges that I'm using right now. So I'm using, not using Coinbase, but it's there if you want to see it. Cash App, I've signed up, but I haven't done any transactions yet. Gemini and Uphold, Kraken, I'll get in a second. But I got to tell you, Uphold, so a lot of you guys have recommended that to me, and I was like, yeah, I'll get to it. But it's awesome. I got to tell you right now, it's awesome. So if you have a chance to take a look at Uphold, here I give you the links to the fee chart. So because I don't want you just to take my word for it, I want you to do your own research. But these are the fees that I found. And Uphold is, I mean, you can get anything to anything. And I actually reached out to them and go, hey, do you have any affiliate links? And they're like, no, we don't have affiliate links. So you just have to go to uphold.com and then you just sign up. So I just think it's great. So you can get a ton of different cryptocurrencies. It's available in America. It's very seamless. ACH. They don't have any kind of like automated dollar cost averaging tools like Gemini does, where it just does it automatically. But I mean, you can buy cryptocurrency, and you can even buy like gold and palladium and I think silver. So I mean, that's not too bad. 4 metals. I don't know what the other ones are, so you can check that out. But yeah, there it is right there. And then they're in the process of getting a debit card, not a prepaid where you have to like prepay a card and use the card. I think is silly. I used to do that in college. I don't want to do that anymore. I got too much stuff going on. So, I mean, if this happens, I'm all on board. So check that out. Again, I also use Gemini and Kraken, and that's what's going on. So now let's move on to the next bit. All right, paving way for big money. BAKKT Galaxy Digital launch joint institutional grade Bitcoin custody service. So just as a refresher, Galaxy Digital, that is Michael Novagratz, and BAKKT, that was Kelly Loeffler, who became a senator for Georgia, believe it is. And so they've kind of got the inside track on institutional grade investing and white glove services, apparently. So Bitcoin, the Bitcoin derivatives and custody platform owned by ICE, or Intercontinental Exchange, which is the operator of the New York Stock Exchange. So, you couldn't have a better pedigree, has linked up with investment management firm Galaxy Digital to create a new platform that will cater to institutional investors, which, wow, if we haven't heard enough about them, they are coming in heavy. The two firms have unveiled a joint white glove service that will help institutional players get and grow their positions in Bitcoin and also safely store their crypto. So essentially they're going, hey, don't worry, we know that you got a lot of different options out there and you're used to a certain level of service. We're going to give you that service. Just come in with your money and we'll make it super easy. And that essentially is what's going on. So Galaxy Digital will provide all the trading services and capabilities by leveraging its ability to source liquidity from over 30 different venues. And BAKKT will be providing the custody for the client. So there's two things I want to talk about. First of all, when BAKKT launched, it was supposed to be awesome, but it underperformed massively because it had custody service and it was supposed to be physical Bitcoin. And people would they would hold the physical Bitcoin and, then they could trade and do whatever else. But they went from physical Bitcoin to cash settled, and that doesn't help us. I mean, we want people to actually hold the Bitcoin. Don't make these side bets, which is essentially what I think it is. So I'm hoping that maybe this time that they get it right and they're, doing physical custodial service, which is what it sounds like. And the second thing is that the people who got rich in the gold rush were not all the people who were trying to get the gold. The people who got the most rich in the gold rush were the people that were the outfitters or that would give the supplies to these gold diggers, essentially. They'd give them the pickaxes, they would give them the pans, they would give them the clothing and everything else. Those are the ones that made the most money, not the people who were just for the gold rush. So I think that this is a smart move by BAKKT. Now let me be clear. I have the utmost belief in cryptocurrency digital assets, but I think that BAKKT, by doing this custodial service, it's a win-win for everybody, especially for them. And that's the big story. So here's my question to you. Do you think this is going to be the catalyst to really get us over the hump and get that price moving? Now, we've seen some pretty good gains, but do you think institutional investing coming in is good or actually potentially bad? Or is this just another like a dog and pony show which won't bring any results, just like the original BAKKT launch when they didn't do squat? So let me know what you think in the comment section. Me personally, we are seeing such huge institutional demand. This was a section or a story that we covered yesterday. This is about a Fidelity survey, which showed that 25% of major institutional investors are actually getting into Bitcoin or are in Bitcoin already. Oh, excuse me, they own Bitcoin. So, this is just amazing. And then there's really just 2 points. So they are heavy into Bitcoin, and then out of that 25, and then out of everybody that was surveyed, 11% of all institutional investors are already buying Ethereum. So you got Bitcoin and Ethereum. So you can't really do too bad betting on one of those. And then just for reference, this survey that Fidelity gave to all these institutions, it was 800 institutions such as pension funds, hedge funds, and family houses. And then if you've been on this channel for any length of time, you know that institutional investors, I believe, are going to be a big catalyst. Now, they might not be, but I think with them bringing in huge amounts of money, like Fidelity, 2.4 trillion assets under management, TD Ameritrade with 1 trillion assets under management. Then you got somebody like Van Eck, who is a huge gold bug type of institution, very old school. January 2020, they put out this report that said, hey, Bitcoin far outweighs or is far better than gold. And they laid down multiple points, and they're pretty much saying that we are going heavy into Bitcoin. On top of the new one, this was Paul Tudor Jones or the Tudor Group, and they are putting 2% of total investments into Bitcoin futures. So we see institutional investors come in, and I can only surmise that I believe it's going to be one of those catalysts. Now, let me know what you think in the comment section. Maybe it's not, but that's just my theory. So moving on, blockchain-friendly bank chooses USDC over Ripple and XRP for cross-border payments. And I'm going to ask your help for this one because I'm not too familiar with this bank. So a leading crypto-friendly European bank, BAKKT, has announced it's replacing interbank payment facilitator SWIFT with Circle stablecoin USDC. So first of all, I have no idea what that bank is. I tried to look it up and I couldn't really get a ton of information on it. So for all of my European watchers, you are sitting there, let me know, is this BAKKT, is it that big of a bank? Because in this article, it makes it seem like it's like the biggest bank of all time in Europe. But let me know if that's true or not. So head of blockchain banking at the this is funny. Head of blockchain banking at the bank, Stefan Rowdy, speaking on the decision, said, with the addition of USDC, we enable our customers to process USD payments quickly and token-based. Compared to the classic SWIFT procedure, the processing time is significantly reduced. So one thing I'll say is, look, it's a good thing they finally got away with SWIFT. SWIFT is an ancient technology from like the 60s or 70s that was put in place to facilitate payments, and it's like ancient. I don't know why we haven't upgraded from the 70s But you can see that when you go to your bank and you try to do any kind of payments. Super slow. Anyhow, is this a problem for Ripple and XRP? Before now, Ripple has been recognized as the leading blockchain-based remittance service provider. The company uses its native token XRP to provide liquidity for cross-border settlement and has become quite popular. BAKKT choosing USDC instead of Ripple is therefore unexpected and a potentially huge blow as more potential customers may start considering stablecoins for remittance settlements instead of Ripple services. So here's my question. What's your thought on this? And especially, I mean, I've got a lot of subscribers who are big XRP fans in the XRP army. So this article, I'm sure you're going to pick it apart. So let me know what you think in the comment section about this particular instance. I guess to me, it kind of comes down to this. How big is BAKKT? How much is this going to really move the needle? And what's the potential fallout later on? Is this something that could really happen? Because I don't know if, I mean, one of the great things about XRP that I know is that when you do nostro vostro accounts, which is you have to pre-fund every type of currency out there, you don't have to do that with XRP. It's just pretty much every type of currency. It just can become that. So it allows for liquidity. I don't know about the USDC. I mean, USDC is just USDC. So I don't really know if that's a big case. But the next part of this, and this is the last part we'll finish up, stablecoins like USDC do not fluctuate so wildly in value like typical cryptocurrencies since they are pegged to fiat, whose value is invariably stable. All right. The combination of these attributes make them more suitable for making cross-border payments, and this poses a threat to Ripple. So true and false. The first part here is that stablecoins do not fluctuate so wildly. That is true. They do not fluctuate. They are pegged to the US dollar, and amazingly, the US dollar is gaining strength, even after we print it like it's going out of style. So, whatever. It's a weird world, that's all I can tell you. But the next part here, the combination of these attributes make them more suitable for making cross-border payments, and this poses a threat to Ripple. That's false. I mean, it could pose a threat, but it's not that unstable. To transfer payments across the globe, it takes like 3 seconds. And if you've ever used XRP, and I've had a bunch of subscribers tell me, yeah, I've got family in India, I've got family in Thailand, and they send XRP and it takes seconds and not minutes, not hours, seconds. So the volatility is nil if it only takes that much amount of time. So again, let me know what you think in the comments section. Let's move on to our last story, and this one is to me amazing. So last up, 2,000 vending machines in Australia and New Zealand now accept Bitcoin. This is crazy. Crazy. A vending machine for like 75 cents, 50 cents, or however much Coke is now. I don't know. I don't really drink that much of it. Over 2,000 vending machines in Australia and New Zealand now accept Bitcoin for Coca-Cola products. This is made possible through a partnership between Coca-Cola's largest bottling and distribution company in the region, Coca-Cola Amatil, and crypto payment startup Centrapay. First of all, who is Centrapay? So Centrapay, here is their website, centrapay.com. Pretty simple, right? And on the front page, very clean, slick design. I like it. And let's just take a look here. So under products, use cases, pricing, blah, blah, blah. So for products, digital assets. So they're obviously doing digital assets as far as payment, tracking. They have tools and turning physical products into digital ones. Fantastic, right? Connect, engage, and pay. But this was interesting. It says tokenization is expected to be a $24 trillion industry by 2027. Not too far away, $24 trillion. And it states all physical assets will have a digital equivalent. Products are no different and actually creates a massive opportunity for brands to connect directly with consumers. So like when I think of tokenization, I always think about property and land and big, huge buildings. So instead of buying a $20 million condo, multiple condos, you could just have it tokenized and go, hey, we're going to sell these types of condos or these buildings or this retail shops, and we're going to tokenize it. And instead of having like 5 investors, now we're going to have thousands of investors, and we're going to tokenize everything. And when the price goes up or the value goes up, then you get rewarded. So, I mean, I think it's a pretty cool thing. It's a pretty great concept, and I can't wait to see how this all plays out. So the use cases, let me see. Under consumer engagement, they did a case study of Coca-Cola. So really what they did was, it was about this Alpine Media used pocket vouchers to deliver a winter sampling and brand awareness campaign, and they could pick up Coca-Cola to the New Zealand market. And the objective was to drive product trial and brand awareness with a text-based ad block sampling campaign. Here's what they did. So they used text-based stuff, and they said, hey, if you want a free sample, just text. They text Turoa, Waka, or Cadrona, whatever that is, to 393, which was the Pocket Vouchers short code. And then from there, what happened was they got the ability to go and sample these products. This campaign was so successful that demand outstripped supply with over 8,000 texts and 68% redemption rate. And that is good marketing, right? When you can just say, hey, do you want a free sample? Just text this word to this number and we'll give you a free sample. And then like, hey, I like that new product. Let me have more. And it's very ethical. It's not this type of stuff that you see on Facebook where they're following you around and selling your data and all this nonsense. So that makes sense. And that same thing happened over at Liquorland. They did some kind of like rewards program and they got them in. And it was cool because they were able to grab their customers' emails and then send them off, hey, here's a voucher for $20 the next time you spend $50 any of our Liquorland store. And sure, it makes complete sense and it worked out pretty well. Now, here was the most interesting thing as far as pricing. So right now in my business, I pay 2.99% per transaction plus 30 cents of every transaction that I do on all my websites. And right now, you can get it for free and you can just kind of like, it's probably like a promotional thing. Then you can pay 79 bucks a month and you only pay 1.9% and that's it. And then if you want to do some other things, especially with digital assets, it's only merchant payments is 1% per transaction and not plus 30 cents. So I got to tell you, as far as a retailer goes, I am down for that. That is definitely a thing because I have to pay this every single time. So imagine just me and then extrapolate that to all different types of retailers out there that are getting like the same type of deal because the payment processors are pretty limited. You got Stripe and you got PayPal, and that's the majority of them. I mean, you got Visa too, but it works in the background. So something like this is huge news for somebody like me. So anyhow, that's Centrapay in a nutshell. Let's jump back to the actual article. So it states here, those who intend to pay with Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies only have to use their mobile phone installed Silo Smart Wallet, a next generation app that combines a private messenger with a digital wallet to scan QR codes at supported vending machines across the two countries. So it does a couple of things. It makes payments easier and reduces the need for unnecessary contact, which is a pretty good idea, especially with what just went on as far as this global pandemic. So if you don't have to touch anything, so much the better. Centrapay's CEO, Jeremy Fari, he states this: integration complexity and poor user experiences are barriers to adoption of Web3 technology such as digital identity and assets. We have solved both of these issues. We're working to create a future where individuals are in control of their own data and digital identity. Brands can connect directly and ethically, that's the big key here, with people, empowering them to make the right purchasing decision whilst also supporting their retail and other distribution partners, like we just talked about. And that's why I brought up the whole case studies with those two, because it makes sense, right? If you can do this ethically and get people in the door and not have to like steal their data, essentially, that's exactly what you want. So just between me and you, I do Facebook ads. I do Facebook ads for my business. And I gotta tell you, it's like cheating because I can narrow it down to a mother between the ages of 35 and 39 who makes between $40,000 and $60,000, who has 2 kids, 1 job, and likes, I don't know, emojis. It's just amazing the granular detail you can get on Facebook. But that's the data that they take. And in marketing, data is king. So if you don't think they're taking your data, you don't think people are taking your data, they're taking it all the time. Believe me, I know, because I do marketing and I can see everything. Anyhow, lastly, it states this: going forward, the company plans to launch its services globally. First with the launch of some world-first innovations in the United States. So I like that. So here's my thoughts on this one. I have always said that Bitcoin is not good for transaction. It just can't do it, because it just takes too much time, too much space, and it's too expensive. But if this company is doing what it says it can do here with Bitcoin on a vending machine, then I could be wrong. And hey, I'm wrong all the time. Ask my wife, she'll tell you. But I'm just interested in how they did it. How did they do that without causing the blockchain or the network to go out of control and really start to increase those fees. How did they do that? So I've actually reached out to them via email. I'm waiting to hear back. I don't think it's a Lightning Network type of thing that they're using. It's something else, but who knows? So let me know your thoughts. How this could actually happen for a vending machine in Bitcoin in Australia and New Zealand. That's amazing. All right, but that's it for today's video. So thanks for sticking with me. As far as this article here, where it talks about integration complexity and poor user experience are barriers to adoption, Digital Dave, this is crazy for cryptos. I talk about him all the time because I love his channel. It's great. It's always got good stuff. But he brought up a point I didn't really think about, and it made a lot of sense. He says if you have problems with your eyesight, or if you've got a problem with manual dexterity, your fingers, like you got fat fingers, or maybe you have arthritis or some kind of problem, a Nano Ledger and a Trezor is pretty crappy option, honestly. So he gives you a couple different alternatives to that as far as cold storage, and I think it was brilliant. So if you got time and you want to talk about cold storage and safety, and maybe have those types of issues, then definitely check that video out. I'll link at the very end. But that's it for today's video. Went a little long, but there's a lot of stuff going on. So before I sign off, I just want to say thanks to everybody who is my supporter. Are my supporters, I should say. So level 1, they pay a couple bucks and it's kind of like a tip, and I just want to say thanks to everybody. Level 2, they pay a little bit more, and I give them a shout out. So, but just so you know, underneath there's a join now button. When you join, you don't get anything special. It's kind of like a tip, really, and that's about it. So level 2s, again, all right soft, I appreciate it. When Mullet helps me hold it down in the premieres, which I haven't been doing lately. I'm getting really busy with my other businesses right now, so it's kind of tough. Myself, who else? Dave Plummer, Straight Talking Guy. Hey, he's got a YouTube channel, check him out. Grant Sharman, Bruce Wood, Baking Benjamins. They do baking for Tezos. If you're into Tezos, check them out. Noel Flippin' Vegas, Martin Lewin, Michael Ralph, William Howell, Crazy Crypto Canuck, Tessie Ryosaki Positive, Fire Swing Golf, JC Durex Code, they're coders, I need to reach out to them, Crypto Veritas, John Miller, The Office, Elmerg, Michael Jeffrey, The Kel Show, who has still not uploaded another video, which I keep asking him to do for gaming, Mage Research Cam, Terry Prospery, and XRP Carolina. And as always, watch out for scams. My email is dandigitalassetnews, plural, at Gmail. If you get some scammer from dandigitalassetnew@gmail, he's just a piece of trash that's trying to get you to sign up for some kind of crazy course. It's not me. So that's it. So hey, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.